If you're looking to cook a pro-level roast chicken for any occasion, I'm here to tell you that it needs no more than salt, pepper, and a chicken. Maybe some garlic if you want. And with a sauce that you can whip up in 2 minutes, you definitely don't need any fancy herbs or confusing marinades to delight and feed your guests. Start by putting together a mix of salt and pepper, equal parts each, and then add on some garlic powder before you give it all a mix. Now if you have the time and want to be slightly more intentional, toast whole peppercorns for just about a minute until they begin to smell incredibly fragrant. Then pound them coarse and add this to the mix. Now this skin-on chicken only needs 3 steps of treatment before we can roast it. Number 1, get rid of that wishbone. Run your fingers along the neck end of the chicken, you'll feel a small V-shaped bone. Make 2 small incisions along either side, slide your finger underneath it, loosen it from the meat and pull it straight down. It might break and that's okay. Number 2, season it thoroughly with the salt, pepper, garlic blend that we put together earlier. Be sure to season the entire chicken generously, especially those crevices. And number 3, truss the chicken so it holds the shape for even cooking. Flip the chicken breast side up, tuck the wingtips behind the breast like so, bring the twine underneath the tail end, cross it, loop it under each drumstick, pull tight, then wind it around the sides like this all the way from one side to the other and tie a knot. The only foolproof method that cooks a bird this evenly is spatchcocking, but if you're going for a better presentation, this is the move. Now should you dry brine this a day ahead? Sure, it helps, but if you can't, the chicken still turns out great without it. Now we're ready to roast. Melt some butter in an oven-safe pan, roll the chicken around so every side gets coated nicely. No brushing, no fussing. Now place the chicken on its side and roast at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, pull it out, baste it with the rendered fat underneath, flip it to the other side, and put it back in the oven for another 20 minutes. Pull it out again, flip it, this time breast side up, and put it back in the oven for another 10 to 20 minutes. From here on, it's all about temperature control. Keep the breast under 155 degrees Fahrenheit and always probe from the side. About 1 hour of roasting and this chicken is done. It tastes great on its own with some sour cream dip, but if you've got 5 minutes and a saucepan, you can go pro level with a sauce velouté. Use a sieve to strain out those roast drippings and add a part of it into a saucepan, reserving a little on the side. If it feels like it's not enough, feel free to add some more butter to it. Next, add enough all-purpose flour to get a sandy texture and stir until the color changes to this nutty brown. At this point, you want to add cold chicken stock, little by little, whisking constantly. You're aiming for this glossy texture that coats the back of a spoon nicely. Season this with some soy sauce. Start small and always taste test to adjust for more if needed. Give it all a good mix and our sauce velouté is done. Now to contrast this roast chicken, sauteed garlic and spinach works the best. Remember the roast drippings we reserved earlier? Add them to a pan with about 2 to 3 cloves of garlic sliced thinly. Once the garlic begins to sizzle, throw in clean spinach, toss it around, cover it and let it steam. About 2 minutes later, get the lid off, add a knob of butter and season with a generous amount of salt, pepper and garlic mix that we prepped earlier. Give it a good mix, taste test and we're done. Now to serve this thing, an oval shaped platter works the best. Start with the chicken, get rid of the twine before you put it on the platter. Spread some sauce velouté on one side of the plate, covering about 60% of it. Then place the chicken on top of the sauce and the greens on the side. Now folks, this platter will scream pro level to whoever you're serving this to. Not just visually, but gastronomically. To carve it at the table, start with this part between the leg and the breast. Be sure you're using a sharp knife and gently slit through the skin, pulling the whole leg away from the breast. It's going to pop out that joint and then cut through the joint to pull out the whole leg. For the breast, simply cut out thin slices like this, clean strokes with a sharp knife. To plate it all, stack some of those thinly sliced breast like so, maybe one whole leg, some greens and some roast potatoes. Now this makes for a generous serving and it's about perfect for most adults. The sauce velouté tastes amazing when you spoon it over the chicken. And those potatoes? Hold on a sec. We never spoke about potatoes. But these look golden, they're aggressive, almost the star of the show. Man, this deserves an explanation. Start by peeling off your potatoes and then cut them into equal parts. Rinse them under running water for about 5 minutes to remove excess starch. You'll know you're there when your water turns from murky to clear. Now bring a pan of well-salted water to a boil, throw in your potatoes carefully, and let them boil gently until a knife slides through without much resistance. Takes about 15 to 20 minutes. Drain the potatoes and let them steam dry back in the pot that you boiled them in. Now you can do this a day ahead and park these guys in the fridge because from here on, the oven does most of the heavy lifting. Season the potatoes generously with salt and drizzle to coat with neutral oil. You want to roughly toss them so they break a little and become sufficiently craggy. These nooks and crags expand the surface area and become really crispy once these are done. Don't be afraid if a few potatoes get mushed, that's the cost of doing this business. Next up, preheat a roasting pan with some fat in it. Use oil, duck fat, butter, whatever you fancy. I'm rendering some bacon fat today. Heat this in the oven until the fat renders. Remove the bacon, add in the potatoes, and then roast at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, flipping and basting every 15 minutes. It usually takes anywhere between 60 to 90 minutes, but this visual output should be your North Star. Feel free to add garlic and rosemary in the final 15 minutes if you wish. For me, the bacon's already doing plenty today. Once the potatoes are done, rest them on a wire rack for a couple of minutes, chop the bacon, some parsley, and serve. Now folks, looking good is one thing, these potatoes are crunchy beyond belief. Listen in. And back to a serving plate, it all makes a pretty dang good festive meal. Now, if you're still evaluating more options for your Christmas dinner, might I interest you in this chicken parmesan I made a few weeks back?